Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have to admit, I might be a little bit confused if I'm in the right committee hearing. We seem to have got sidetracked into presidential branch personnel discussions and food prices. So I do have some questions, but they have to do with kids' online safety and that subject matter. Am I in the right place? Do I have that subject matter correct? All right, thank you. So, Ms. Morrell, this question has to do with Section 230 immunity, and we've had a lot of discussions on that in the past, but I'd like to just talk with you for a minute about how Section 230 immunity protection should apply when you insert an AI algorithm to that. This is uncharted territory for us, and could you just, do you believe that that immunity protection should be in place if there's an AI algorithm that's clearly changing the content or redirecting it?
I do not. I think it's clear that AI products are not hosting third-party speech. Section 230 was meant to protect platforms for liability for hosting third-party content. AI chatbots, AI tools are actually a product. It is product design. It is not meant to be protected by Section 230, and it is not hosting another person's speech. It is a computer-generated product. People are training the AI on certain data, and it's being taught to recognize certain patterns. And so the output of AI is actually a just amalgamation of data that has been recognized by a process. And so to me, that clearly falls under product design, not under Section 230 immunity, which is meant to protect platforms from liability for hosting the speech of other people.
So those comments make sense to me, and I would parallel your thought process there. Our challenge as a legislative body is trying to put this, how do we put this into a legislative format? Mm-hmm. And if we're able to do that, how do we make that enforceable? And I realize this might be out of your lane, but if you have any comments on that, I'd be interested in hearing enforceability.
Yes, my brief comment would be, I think a very narrow solution would just be a clarification, and a bipartisan bill was introduced in the Senate to this effect last Congress, that would just clarify that Section 230 immunity should not apply to generative AI. And what that means then is that there is a path for litigation for these companies to be held accountable for harms caused by those products. And so it doesn't actually need to necessarily prescribe all the actions, but it just opens up legal liability. And that is what we see in America, that the way we typically hold private companies accountable for harms to consumers is through channels of litigation. And so I think having that open would compel AI companies to make sure that their products are not harming consumers.
Got it. Ms. Souris, just your perspective, same question, 230 immunity, AI intervention there, but in the lens of sexual exploitation. Your comments or thoughts?
Absolutely. So I definitely join in the opinion of my colleague at the end of the panel table. I would also add that AI is actually joining as a partner in content creation. So in addition to not hosting third-party content, it is part of the creative process. We see offenders going on using text or image-based AI tools to really create the vision that they have for what they want to see, what kind of sexual exploitation they want to see of a child, to engage with AI sexually as a child. So again, AI clearly is beyond the scope of Section 230 because, again, not hosting, but actually creating content with you as the user. My view, and I would want to give it a little more deliberation, I don't think that needs to be clarified within Section 230. I think we need to see lawsuits filed, and we need to see how courts will address this, because when you look at what AI is doing, again, it is clearly outside the scope of what Section 230 was intended to protect.
I'm going to stay with you. We've only got 30 seconds left, but on the same vein, deep fakes, and I'm concerned about the impact of that. Is there a legislative or is there a role for Congress in perhaps identifying digital forgeries or quick comments on deep fakes and how we might deal with that with enforcement?
Absolutely. I would just highlight 3 items. So we're dealing with criminal provisions and take it down. I think there also is room for Congress to look at civil remedies as well for victims who are abused or exploited through deep fakes. But I also think Congress has a real very important role in looking at preventative measures. How are companies, AI companies, being allowed to red team to use technology to ensure their products are safe before they rush to market?
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.